Now, if you're a golf fan, you're no doubt very familiar with names like Nicklaus, Trevino, Watson, and Crenshaw. But Dennis Trixler? Probably not. Trixler is one of the lesser knowns competing at Pebble this week, and Gary Kauf has his story.
In the world of professional golf, you hear a lot about Steve Pate, Jack Nicklaus, Tom Watson, the stars making millions of dollars a year on the PGA Tour. But you rarely hear about the guys on the other end of the spectrum, the guys hanging on by their fingertips, the ones the crowd doesn't follow. One of those guys is my brother-in-law, Dennis Trixler.
Good shot.
Last year, Dennis ranked somewhere around the 180th best golfer in the entire world. Impressive, until you realize that only equates to about $40,000 in winnings for the year, not even enough to cover his expenses. How does he afford it? Well, his parents are very well off. He's a good tax deduction. The better question is, why does he do it? Schlepping himself around week after week, trying to qualify for tournaments all over the U.S., and finding again and again that he's good, but just not quite good enough.
Yeah, it hurts like hell. It's terrible. It's just terrible. You know, if someone said you're the 140th best doctor, brain surgeon in the world, you'd be making $5 million, $10 million a year. People would be wanting your services all over. But in golf, unless you're in the top 125, really the 126 doesn't mean anything. You finished 126 last year and go have a nice day.
The high point of Dennis's career so far was back a couple of summers ago when he led the Los Angeles Open for 2 days. But on the final day, he faltered and finished 10th. He was invited to Pebble Beach this year because he did well here last year and because he's friends with Nathaniel Crosby, one of Big's sons. It isn't that Dennis doesn't have the talent to win this or any other tournament. He does. He's even shot a few record-setting rounds. What he doesn't have is consistency, the ability to shoot 4 excellent rounds of golf in a row. That's what Mark O'Meara did here last year to win. O'Meara, who's 1 year older than Dennis, was also a struggling pro just a couple of years ago.
I think I can beat him. That's what I think. I think I'm as good as Mark, but I have nothing to go by.
Many struggling golfers will tell you the public has a false image of what a golfer's life is really like, just seeing them walking the fairways of Pebble Beach on a gorgeous Sunday. If you're not among the leaders, you are likely just scraping by. Of course, it's not a sport for the poor, and it is a very pleasant life, being outdoors, being a celebrity, getting all that special attention. And the rewards are tremendous.
At any week, at any time, I mean, this week, we could be talking here on Sunday, talking to the next AT&T champion. For all I know, I could be that champion. So of all this frustration that I've gone through and all the anxiety that it's caused, I could be the happiest person on this planet Sunday evening.
Last year, Dennis finished 17th here, which was worth about $15,000, his biggest purse of the year. This year, Dennis says he'd like to finish in the top 10 because that would get him an exemption into next week's tournament in Hawaii. And if he doesn't make the cut, Dennis says, that gets him back to his home in San Mateo with postpartum depression. At Pebble Beach, I'm Gary Kauf for Sports Wrap.